They started with a single restaurant in the middle of the California desert. No name recognition, no billion-dollar backing, no marketing team, just two brothers flipping burgers behind a counter. So how did this modest burger joint become the most recognizable fast food empire in human history? And more importantly, whose dream was it really? This story begins in the 1930s with Richard and Maurice McDonald, two hardworking brothers trying to survive the Great Depression. They weren't visionaries. They weren't chefs. They were hustlers. They opened a movie theater. It failed. Then a hot dog stand. It barely survived. Eventually, they landed on something that worked, a drive-in barbecue joint in San Bernardino, California. At first, McDonald's barbecue looked like any other roadside diner. Big menu, car hops, long waits. But after years of running it, the brothers noticed something strange. 80% of their sales came from just 3 items: hamburgers, fries, and sodas. Everything else was noise. So they did something radical. In 1948, they shut the restaurant down for 3 months. When they reopened, everything was different. The menu was stripped down to 9 items. No car hops, no plates, no forks. Just burgers, fries, milkshakes, and speed. They called it the Speedee Service System, and it turned the kitchen into an assembly line. No more short order cooking. Every step was optimized. Every second counted. The result? A 15-cent hamburger delivered in under a minute. It wasn't gourmet, but it was fast, consistent, and cheap, and people loved it. Enter Ray Kroc, a 52-year-old milkshake machine salesman who was struggling to make a living selling equipment to restaurants. When he heard that one tiny burger joint had ordered 8 of his multi-mixers, he had to see it for himself. When Kroc arrived at the McDonald brothers restaurant, he was stunned. Lines out the door, happy customers, food flying out of the window like clockwork. It was chaos, and yet completely under control. He saw more than a restaurant. He saw a system, and systems could be scaled. Ray Kroc didn't just pitch them an expansion idea. He pitched them a vision. What if there were hundreds, no, thousands of McDonald's across the country, all operating exactly like this one? In 1955, Ray Kroc opened his first franchise McDonald's in Des Plaines, Illinois. It looked nearly identical to the one in San Bernardino. He even added a new mascot, a little chef named Speedee, and started aggressively opening locations across the Midwest. But here's where the story shifts. Ray Kroc wasn't content being the franchise guy. He wanted more. He wanted ownership, and he knew the brothers weren't going to give it to him easily. While the McDonald brothers were content with their single successful store, Kroc was building an empire in the background. He created the McDonald's Corporation and began funneling new franchisees through his business, not theirs. He hired ad agencies, negotiated supplier deals, and standardized every element of the brand, from the food to the uniforms to the buildings themselves. He even created a real estate company that would buy the land under each new restaurant and lease it to the franchisees. That one move turned McDonald's from a burger business into a real estate juggernaut, gave Kroc financial leverage the brothers never saw coming. And here's the burning question: was Kroc a genius or just a master manipulator? By the late 1950s, the tension between Kroc and the brothers had become unbearable. The vision had outgrown its founders, and Kroc was ready to make his move. In 1961, Ray Kroc made his final move. He offered to buy out the McDonald brothers completely. The deal? $2.7 million, enough for each brother to walk away with $1 million after taxes. It sounded like a fortune. But there was a catch. Kroc wanted full control of everything: the name, the system, the branding, all of it. The brothers agreed. But there was one final request. They wanted to keep their original San Bernardino restaurant. Kroc agreed, verbally. There was no mention of it in the contract, and that would prove to be a costly mistake. After the deal was signed, Kroc found out the brothers still owned their location and continued operating under the McDonald's name. He was furious. So what did he do? He opened a brand new McDonald's right across the street and ran the brothers out of business within a year. They were forced to rename their restaurant the Big M. That's right, the men who created McDonald's couldn't even use their own name anymore. And it didn't stop there. Remember that handshake deal Kroc made? The one where he promised them a 1% royalty for life? It was never honored because it wasn't in writing. That 1% would have been worth hundreds of millions today, but the brothers never saw another dime. With full control in his hands, Ray Kroc moved fast. He streamlined operations, opened hundreds of new stores, and transformed McDonald's into a symbol of post-war American convenience and optimism. The Golden Arches became iconic. The slogan, "You deserve a break today," captured the hearts of millions. And McDonald's wasn't just selling food, it was selling an experience. Franchisees were carefully selected and trained. The McDonald's uniform became a symbol of reliability. The food tasted the same whether you were in Chicago, Miami, or Los Angeles. For better or worse, Ray Kroc had created the blueprint for fast food, and it was unstoppable. But what's success without controversy? As McDonald's expanded globally, it faced criticism for labor practices, environmental impact, and public health concerns. Books were written, documentaries were made. The phrase McJob entered the dictionary as a term for low-paying, dead-end work. And yet, the growth never stopped. By the 1990s, McDonald's had over 10,000 locations worldwide. In the 2000s, it began adapting to criticism, offering salads, healthy options, and rebranding itself as a modern, fresh food destination. But at its core, McDonald's remained what it had always been: a machine, a system, a business model perfected by a man who didn't invent it, but who knew exactly how to own it. So here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. McDonald's wasn't built by the McDonald brothers. Not really. It was built by Ray Kroc, a man who saw someone else's idea, saw its potential, and took it. Was it fair? No. Was it legal? Barely. Was it brilliant? Absolutely. And maybe that's the real story. McDonald's isn't just about burgers and fries. It's about America, about capitalism, about how far someone will go to turn a small idea into a global empire, even if they have to step over the people who started it. So next time you drive past those golden arches or unwrap a Big Mac, ask yourself, whose dream are you really eating? Because sometimes the most famous name in the world doesn't belong to the man who created it, but to the one who claimed it.